Hi guys, do you want to see how to make this awesome interlocking stack box system? Stick with me and I will show you a step-by-step way. Let's go. Now we've taken our pallets off the actual pallet itself. We've given them a sand of 80 grit sandpaper and my trusty DeWalt sander. Now, after we've cut it, you're going to want 8 grit sandpaper and all the bits you've just cut. And we're just going to give it a nice final sand. That's the sanding done with my 120 grit sandpaper. The whole reason that I've done that is to give this bit of pallet a nice smooth over, get rid of any splinters for when we come to put it together, and it just saves us doing that at the end then. Right, shall we go and do this? Let's go. Before I get started, I just want to say you can download the plans for this design and pretty much most of my other videos that I've got on my channel. If you head over to Etsy, the link is below. It will just make it a little bit more easier when you come to build this yourself. It goes into detail step by step. Let's get started, shall we? This is going to be the base of our stack box. When you're doing this, you want to try and get them as square as you can. Remember, this is supposed to look rustic. Now, I've run out of the 25mm veneer pins. I do have another kind of pin here, so let's go ahead and wash these in. Cool, there we go. That's going to be our base section where the box sits on. So I'm going to put that to one side now. These are our lovely sides. What you're going to need to do is mark about 35mm either side. Again, I mark 35mm. Grab our little sections here. Get these squarish as you can. Just lodge a bit of glue on here. All these are for is just to hold these sides together really. As long as it's close enough to 35mm, it doesn't really make a difference because they're not going to be getting in the way of any other parts that are going onto this. There we go, there's our two sides. Now it's time for the lid. 3 longer sections with these nail heads. You want them facing upwards, facing the outside. Lay them side by side. You want to be marking 16mm in from one edge, 16mm from the other edge. I'm going to do this on this side as well. Then we go 17mm from this front edge, near on 17mm. It's only really when we come to put this section on, this bit doesn't get in the way when we come to put the lid on, which you'll see in a bit. As long as it's not below 16mm on that. So anything above 16mm is perfect because that way it gives the lid a little bit of movement but not too much. Also as well, the cut edge have facing inwards, the same with here. So the smooth edge is along the front. These are all the main components that we've got here. So we've got our sides, we've got our base, and we've got our lid. Now, I don't know if you've noticed these pallet shelves. I made these a while ago. I'll put a link in the description up the top there. You can also get hold of these on Etsy. There'll be a link below in the description where you can purchase these. Let's get hold of all of these. And what you're going to want to do is mark 15mm on this edge here. So do this on both sides and with all the planks. So the same process as before, again with the nail heads, you want them showing outwards, just makes it look a little bit more rustic and bespoke. So the reason that I have these clamps is when I come to put these on, it's going to be a bit more difficult for me to nail it on. In my last video, the plant pot holder, link in the description, I was able to hold it in place and nail. But with these do a little bit longer, it's just a little bit more safer for you to do so. These are 12-inch clamps, so about 300 millimeters. And when you're doing this, you might want to get yourself a work surface where you're able to clamp to underneath. And we get another one on these sides. I'm going to put this plank on there. So I've got my 2 lines, my little 15mm lines there. The reason for that is when I come to put my shank nails in, you'll be going through the pallet and not through the air. Now you don't have to have a precise mark on where you're going to put these nails, as long as they're symmetrical-ish, just to, again, give it that rustic look. Now we're fully clamped up, we'll just go ahead and nail these in place. Awesome, so now the clamps can come undone. So now it's together. The reason I haven't put my clamps on now is because it's not moving. Now the reason I haven't used glue on these edges is because I'm using ring shank nails, and this will stop those pallets or these planks from popping off. Also, flip over, I'm going to do the next side. And there we have our box. The next step is marking out again. We want to mark 15mm along this edge. We want to do a light mark, so just do a little line there and a little line there. Grab one of these pieces, lightly mark along this edge, and then from these outer edges, you want to get it approximate measurements. You want to do this on both sides. Now it's time for the base to go in. That's our base. Now we want to grab our lid. Pop the lid on top there. That actually sits quite nicely inside. Right, you want to grab your tape measure again. Mark 60mm across from one side, 60mm from this side, 30mm up, like so, 30mm up on this side. Do this on this side as well. The same again here. We go 45mm down and 60mm across. So now these, we're going to be putting our holes for the rope. Now you're going to need a combi drill for this and an 8mm wood drill bit, which I have in front of me here. I'm going to go ahead and just drill the holes through this top section now as well. Same for the lid, just give that a bit of a sound off as well. And there we have our top box. Now, if you bear with me, I'm going to go ahead and make this bottom box, and then we're going to our next step of putting the rope in. Awesome, so there we have it, bottom box now, done. Then we grab the box that we done earlier, and that should fit in there. It might be a little bit tight. If it is a little bit tight, like this is now, pull her out, grab your hammer, and just knock these edges ever so slightly out a little bit. And there we go, she plonks in there. I want my lengths of hemp cord at 400 each. Really, you want about 2.5 meters for this. It's all detailed in the PDF plans on my Etsy store. Now 400 is approximately there. Now there's two reasons that I tape these up. One is because if you don't tape it up, this hemp is going to unravel itself. And two, you're going to find it easier threading it through these 8mm holes. So I'll do this top lid first. Now that's not going to come through that 8mm hole no matter what. Give that a nice tug there. Just go ahead and do this for all the other holes that we've drilled. Cool. We'll go ahead and do the rest on these other boxes now. What you might find is when you're threading it through, give the hemp rope a little wiggle and then unravel it again. And that way you can get it through the hole a little bit easier. It might look awkward, but it really isn't. This is why I'm having both pots on top of each other and resting it on me. You can always ask someone to help you if you are struggling. Well, and there we have it. One stack box for pretty much anything you want to put in there. One thing I forgot to mention is before you do the rope, make sure you varnish it and do whatever paint colour you want. I'm going to leave this as it is because I think it looks absolutely cool rustic. If you've enjoyed my video and you found it inspirational, productive, educational, or you've just enjoyed it in general, don't forget to give that like and subscribe button a like below. If you haven't done so already, go and check out my Etsy shop. I've got these physical products for sale on there. I've got PDF plans, I've got motivational planners, just kind of give you guys a little bit of a push and a boost. Till next time, bye bye.